I have my own gold star?
Indeed you do.
Where did this even come from?
The universe, obviously.
Now I've got gold star powers.
Gold star powers, man. Oh. Monday Motivational Madness. A crazy good way to start your week.
Hola, you amazing artist. And let me move this thing out of the way a little bit there. So I did a thing that I want to talk about, and I'm not sure if it's going to be motivational, even though I know that this is a Monday motivation. Over the weekend, I filled my page up with a huge to-do list. Some of you guys know that we've been dealing with plumbing issues in order to get the studio open, so that was one of the things on my list. The other one was to film some videos, enter a competition for Yamana Gold. Look into that because it is an art competition that I enter every other year whenever they have it. I had some Zoom links I was gonna send, an invite to someone to be on our podcast, art prompt video for our patrons. I am writing a proposal for the Arts Council to film their classes.
I'm gonna need a week to accomplish this day.
I mean, yeah, I was being ambitious. But if you go back through my book, it's kind of all like that, There was this week. You remember that? Yeah.
Looks like a blur.
We have an adventure video that we're working on, and also working on my book. I even wrote stuff on here for today, like calling the IRS, and we have a meeting with Arts Council today. The irony is that I just posted a Skillshare video where I talk about the Fantastic Four list and how you shouldn't give yourself more than 4 things to do, because chances are at the end of the day, you're not going to get them all done. The thing about it, to me, is like setting realistic expectations. And honestly, when I think about the term realistic expectations, to me, like, that's almost like a bad word, because a lot of times when people use that, they use that in a way that is very, very disempowering. When you're looking at your day, you want to make sure that you set yourself up for success. And for the most part, you're going to accomplish a lot more than just 4 things. I mean, and all the days where I list 4 things, I always end up doing a lot more than that. But you don't want to set yourself up in a way where at the end of the night, you feel a sense of that you didn't accomplish anything.
Yeah, last night Rafi was like, I didn't do anything. And I was like, are you kidding me? Settle down and eat your dinner.
When it comes to getting started on something, especially if you're not feeling motivated, I'm a big fan of fa-chunking, where you just fa-chunk it for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 50 minutes, however long it takes you to at least get that project started. And then at the end of that run, if you are still like, no, I don't want to do this today, then you don't do it. But at least you get it started. Because for a lot of us, the hard part is getting something started. The second part is giving yourself way too much to do and then not even knowing where to start. We've been dealing with a timeline when it comes to plumbing that has kind of like thrown us off kilter when it comes to getting organized and feeling like we're getting work done.
That's a diplomatic way to say that.
Yeah. First off, the studio has been closed down for a while, and the last hurdle was getting the plumbing done in the basement. So obviously that should be a priority at the top of my list. The other thing is the Yamana competition, because that does have a deadline of today. The other thing would be writing the proposal, because I'm actually submitting that tomorrow. So like there are certain things that you might have deadlines with, whether or not you're working on a commission or you have something that that you got to get it done by such and such date. You want to make sure that those things are there. But as far as throwing too much on your list, you don't want to do that. I think it all comes down to those ultimatums, right? Like where you are challenging yourself. And I'm all about challenging yourself and pushing yourself. But when it comes to time, you don't want to put yourself in a situation like I did. Yesterday, we ended up replumbing the entire studio and we got a huge amount done. And now we could actually move forward and put our art studio together, which you guys know. Oh, I am so excited about that. Yet at the end of the night, I felt like a failure because there were still so many things on my list that had not been crossed off. I've heard quite a few people over the years that have jumped into an art career and they've given themselves that ultimatum of like, this is what needs to happen by this time. And if it doesn't happen, it means that I failed. Which by the way, is not a great idea, because you cannot predict how this is all gonna go. And honestly, when it comes down to it, you can't predict how your day is gonna go.
Yeah, because there you are, minding your own business, going about your day, and the next thing you know, your toilet's farting. Why is it filling so slow? Why is it making that sound?
Give yourself a gold star for anything that you accomplish that day, even if it is one thing on your list. And I think it's all about forming that habit and really appreciating the fact that you got something done. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is that feeling is going to carry on over to the next day. And if it carries on over to the next day, you basically already set yourself up to feel like you failed the next day. So whether it is like giving yourself an ultimatum, like I'm going to get this done in a year, I'm going to get this done in 2 years, I'm going to be supporting myself with my art in 3 years, or I'm going to get this done today and this done and this done and this done. That's fine. You want to set those goals for yourself, go ahead and do it. But make sure that you are giving yourself actionable, realistic steps to get to where you need to get to. Just writing a bunch of different tasks that I want to get done in a day and not really thinking about the logistics of that that's setting myself up for failure. When it comes to things like this, like I know, and like I said, I have a Skillshare class out there where I talk about the Fantastic Four list and how you just keep it small, keep it something that you know that you're going to be able to take care of and that is constantly rotating. For a lot of us, it's already hard to keep ourselves motivated, let alone setting yourself up for overwhelm and getting yourself overwhelmed with putting way too much on your plate.
Especially when you are a single tasker extraordinaire, such as moi.
Some of us artists out there have our corporate side hustle and we have family things that we got to take care of. And on top of that, we're trying to juggle our art career. And honestly, if you're throwing way too much expectation on yourself, it could be overwhelming and most definitely demotivating. So today, as a kind of motivation, I want you to take a close look at what you are expecting of yourself and what kind of things you're pushing yourself to get done. I'm not saying that you should reduce the amount that you expect of yourself, but just make sure that it is something that you know logistically, realistically, that you can accomplish. And if you want to push a little bit above that, that's fine. But don't put too much on your plate, because if you do, all you're going to do is overwhelm yourself and feel like you didn't get it done, feel like you're a failure at the end of the day. Manage the amount of days that you're going to work on things. We try to stuff everything into one day and really just spread it out. Spread it out. Give yourself more time to work on things.
Don't stuff your day, unless you want to give your day a serious case of indigestion and the need for a nap.
You may not be able to sit there and finish a masterpiece in a day, but what can you do today? When I'm working on a big piece, there are times where I will sit in the studio for hours. The thing is that I know that chances are when it is a big project that I'm not going to get it done that day. And so I just give myself one part. If it's a painting, one part of the painting that I'm going to work on. Maybe it's going to be the eyes. Maybe it's going to be the shape of the head. Maybe it's going to be the background. Maybe I'm going to sketch out my design. I'll give myself one thing to do because I know that the next day I'm going to work on that piece and then I'm going to give myself something else to do and then I'm going to give myself something else to do. Now I work on several projects at once, so a lot of times it'll be I'm going to work on this one aspect of this piece and then while that's drying I'm going to work on the aspect of this piece and while that's drying I'm going to work on this aspect of this piece. Whether or not you get it done that day or you don't, be willing to celebrate and give yourself a gold star because you gave it your all. I promise that I will stick to the Fantastic Four list and will not be creating obnoxious lists. Yeah.
Well,
good.
that's good. And
Yeah.
guess what? You get a gold star.
Oh my goodness. You deserve to celebrate yourself, who you are, and what you accomplish every day, even if it is one thing. Remember to celebrate that and then look forward to the next thing. Be willing to move crap around and put it wherever it is that it needs to be. You don't have to get everything done today. You don't have to accomplish the impossible today, even though the impossible is absolutely possible. Just don't overwhelm yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself. Reach for the stars, but don't overwhelm yourself. And ultimately, what is most important is don't allow yourself to feel like a failure because you didn't get things done yet. They're still a work in progress. You're going to get them done. You're going to get there. You're going to reach that point that you want to get to.
You get a gold star. Awesome human watching this. We all get a gold star. There you go.
If you're too focused on what you didn't get done, then you're going to miss out on appreciating the things that you did get done. So you've got no tree wisdom for today? And if your fantastic tree wisdom.
Well, trees don't make lists because, but if they did, I'm sure they would leave room in there to branch out in whichever direction they choose to go.
Oh, I just threw up in my mouth. And that's it, you guys. I got to get back in the studio, and I am excited to get in there and start putting our studio together. But I'm curious to know how you deal with day to day and what you do in order to avoid that sense or that feeling of like, oh, I failed today. What process do you have in place? Go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. And also, I want to give a big shout out to our patrons. They are the originators of the Monday Motivational Madness. And also a special shout out to J.G. Fellers Creative. She is an artist, award-winning author, and poet. She creates mixed media art and also these awesome writable, usable journals from salvage, vintage, and antique shops. Check her stuff out. She is freaking awesome. Due to my crazy list and the things that I did not even read off to you, we're going to be quite busy for the next couple weeks, especially while we're putting the studio together and tying up the book that is going to be released soon. So if we do go dark, don't worry, it's just temporary. We will be back and we'll be having a working studio, finally. And that's it. I'm about to end this video. You want to say goodbye to our awesome creatives out there?
Of course I do. Have an awesome, manageable, good day.
And thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are absolutely freaking amazing. I totally adore you. And if you like this and you want to watch more like this, just click right over here to subscribe. And that's it. I'll see you later. Adios.